joined now by another speaker at the NALS Conference 2016. It's Jamie Fraser from the Tenant Tax Campaign. And Jamie, Section 24, a massive threat to landlords, but by default, a massive threat to lettings agents as well. It's so important that agents are brought up to speed with what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why conferences like this and organisations like NALS and other similar organisations are very important to letting agents. They need to know what's happening, they need to know how it affects them, they need to get educated on this fast, they need to know how to communicate with their landlord clients, and they need to know how to communicate with government their displeasure, because this is going to affect their business.
It is, and I think you'll agree with me that there seems to be quite a lack of awareness amongst the lettings community that this threat is coming. So very important that NALS have actually given you a platform to update on the Tenant Tax Campaign and be part of that educational process, because actually agents themselves need to be educating landlords.
Yeah, absolutely. We found as part of the Tenant Tax Campaign that agents seem to be in the dark in some ways as much as landlords are. So to have this opportunity today to address them, to tell them how to get involved, to explain some of what's coming, I think that's a fantastic opportunity for us at the campaign and for them as businesses.
Yes, indeed. I think, as I mentioned, that the agents should be part of the educational process. What were some of the things that you feel that agents can do to support their landlord clients in respect of Section 24?
Well, they ought to be pushing them in the direction of good learning resources. There's a number of websites, including your own, that can do that, but also to get them in touch with the right professionals to explain their tax position, to explain the likely outcomes for them, to guide them in how to move forward. If they want to expand their business going forward in the future, they're going to have to do this in a slightly different way to what they've been doing previously. So the more education and the more contacts you can get through this, the better.
Absolutely. Now, you're a landlord yourself, and I think we can agree that landlords are taking an absolute hammering at the moment. There's so much government interference, and really, as a community, the educational process is very, very important. And agendas, much like the Tenant Tax Campaign, agendas need to be put to one side, and everybody needs to work together, particularly in respect of the fees ban, because it's going to knock on to landlords as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, part of the Tenant Tax Campaign is to unite as many different factors and sectors as possible within the business to try to get them on board with the same message. And certainly even things like stamp duty changes, the fees changes that you mentioned, all of these things play their part in trying to lobby the government that this is wrong. What they're doing is wrong. It's going to stop a lot of good businesses in their tracks.
So just to finish then, I think it's very important that agents take a day out of their business, come along here, meet people, see the bigger picture, because that's really the way that they can survive and thrive. Because as we've always said, where there's threat, there's opportunity as well, isn't there, for those that sort of see the bigger picture and see the avenues.
Yeah, absolutely. For those agents that are willing to grasp this by the horns and go forward with it, there are lots of opportunities coming forward for them, and there's lots of opportunities for everybody in this business if they know where to look and how to apply them. Once they've done that, they should be able to survive the ravages of Section 24 and the fees changes that are coming.
Yeah, I think, there's so much negativity about, there's anti-landlord, anti-letting agent sentiment, and I think we do have to focus on the positive, don't we? It can't all be doom and gloom.
Yeah, well, don't start me on the anti-landlord sentiment, because I deal with that every single day. I try to stay away from the internet for that reason. But yes, it can't all be doom and gloom. The future could be bright if we handle it properly and we keep lobbying the government to hopefully get these things changed, and there's no reason why we shouldn't survive this unscathed.
Yeah, well, it's great to see NALS and the Tenant Tax joining together, and everybody that comes into the campaign is adding their voice and strengthening it. And Tenant Tax Campaign, it's ongoing. There's got to be political lobbying, and there's got to be agents as part of the solution as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be talking about that later on. There certainly has to be all of those things, and the more people that come to the Tenant Tax Campaign to help us fight this, the better. They're all welcome.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, and it's great to have your input here today, and the very best of luck with the continuation of the Tenant Tax Campaign. Thank you, Jamie.
Cheers. Thank you.